So I'm late to this party. I'm not really sure how I managed to do that. I'm plenty old enough to have seen this show when it first came out, but I've never heard of it until like a month ago. As far as in my memory, I don't remember ever hearing of the show. I never saw it. I don't recognize any of the characters. I don't remember seeing clips from it. This show's 25 years old and I've never encountered it. I don't even know how that's possible. I watch superhero stuff. Like I've watched the Marvel movies and everything. Like, how did I never cross paths with this show? But anyways, I didn't. And a coworker who's young enough to be my daughter actually recommended this to me. We were talking about TV shows and movies and things like that. She recommended this. She said it was good through all 10 seasons of the show. Of course, I'm thinking in my head, yeah, right. No freaking way the show makes it 10 seasons. No show makes it 10 seasons. I mean, my experience, TV shows, if it's going to be good, it's not going to be good for longer than 3 seasons. I would say the original A-Team, the from the 80s or whenever that was released, that one made it 4 seasons. There were some good episodes in the 5th season, but even that one started to peter off right at the very end, and that was a good show, right? Like, so 10 seasons is ridiculous, but okay, she said it was that good. I'm gonna investigate this. Just something to keep in mind. This is with reading, this is with watching TV, watching movies, whatever it is, consuming this kind of content. Take time to, like, if it's something that's worth your time in the first place, take time to think about it afterwards. Like, don't just move on to the next thing immediately. Arthur Schopenhauer writes about this in regard to reading, because he was before movies, but just that idea that, like, you can overconsume. You can overconsume to the point where you're not actually taking anything in. And he points out that if you just consume something and you never take the time to think about it, you're just letting somebody else think for you. You're just taking flat off the page what somebody else wrote, and you're making that your thought without ever actually putting your own thoughts into it, or adding your thoughts to what you read and pulling out your own ideas from what you're consuming. And I'm saying this with just movies and TV as well. All of this, reading, movies, TV. Take time to ruminate over it a little bit, chew the cud a little bit. If there's something there at all that and if not, don't waste 10 seasons on a show that's not worth it. But if it is, take the time to think about it. So anyways, I watched the show. I started it, I don't know, a little over a month ago. First, went in blind. I don't know anything about it. I mean, many years ago now, I saw the Christopher Reeves Superman movie, and like, I'm familiar with just the most basic ideas of Superman. That's it. But like, I went in completely blind otherwise. The only actor I recognized, at least from the main cast, was John Schneider. Nobody else. I didn't recognize anybody else. I knew John Schneider from, I think this is the only thing I've seen him in, was October Baby, if anyone's seen that. And I've since found out after watching Smallville that he plays exactly the same character, so he plays Jonathan Kent in October Baby as well.
Dude, her dad's gonna kill you, man.
Mr. Lawson,
I said, stay out of it.
Well, I didn't know that at the time I saw it, because I had never seen Smallville, but anyway, so I put the show on, started watching it, and I came back and I was talking to my young coworker, and I was like, okay, so here's the deal. I like it so far. I just started, watched the first few episodes, and it's good, I started watching the Talkville podcast too. I'm just at the beginning of that, which is cool, by the way. But everyone is always complaining on there, it seems like, about the whole Freak of the Week format, but I don't really get that. I liked the Freak of the Week thing. I felt like it made me nostalgic for, like, old superhero cartoons, or just old cartoons I watched when I was a kid that were often Freak of the Week. So anyways, that actually was part of why I liked it. It felt kind of nostalgic watching it. But I told her, I was like, okay, I don't really know anything about, the Superman lore and the history and all that kind of thing. Like, I think there's some characters in there that are probably in the comic books, but I just don't even recognize their names. So I don't know who they're going to end up being. But I told her, I was like, but I got to really think this through, whether I want to invest in the show or not, because my top favorite character so far, who is like, I relate to this character the most. I think he's the best character in the show. I don't, but I know they're going to make him the villain, because I don't know much about Superman, but I know Lex Luthor doesn't end up the hero. So I was like, all right, do I really want to invest in this show and watch it and then have them destroy my favorite character? Because they have to if they're going to make him the villain. But Smallville won, and I decided I'm going to keep watching it, knowing ahead of time that the best character, they're going to eventually turn into a villain. And I'm just like bracing myself for that. Okay. But I was confused as I started watching the show because he wasn't turning into a villain. And I think, okay, right at the beginning, season 1, fine. They're going to have a nice long character arc and all that. This is backstory or whatever, season 1, he's not a villain. All right. Season 2, still not a villain. Season 3, still not a villain. I'm getting confused at this point. We're through 3 seasons and he's not a villain. And I feel like, and not only is not a villain, I felt like he looks like an admirable character to me. Like I'm still looking at this and thinking he seems like a good guy, not just like not a bad guy. He looks like a good guy. I'm not even seeing where the arc is going to come from. Like if you're graphing his villain arc, you're graphing an arc, like we're still like flatlined. Like I don't see the liftoff on this arc at all. And we're through season 3. And then season 4, still nothing. And season 5, and I'm like, what the heck? I don't understand what's going on. I felt like, that's the way I described it, I felt like I was going crazy. Like, I feel like the show made me feel like I was going crazy. Like I was being gaslighted or something, okay? Because in this show, and I'm like being gaslighted by like the other characters. That's what I felt like. I felt like the other characters in the show are gaslighting me. And it makes me feel like I'm losing my mind, okay? Let me explain what I mean here. Because, throughout the show, from season 1 all the way through, basically everybody talks like, Clark, you're amazing. The world doesn't deserve you. You're so charming. You're so wonderful. You're so generous. You're so kind. You're so amazing. Blah, 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 blah. And everyone talks like, Lex, he's so creepy. Whoa, he's weird. I can't believe that he's such a bad guy. He's such a villain. He's a psycho. From the beginning, okay? Like, the best you get for Lex is like, Clark going, well, I mean, yeah, he's awful, but maybe we give him a chance. That's like the best you get out of this. This goes on for season after season after season. But I'm watching it and I feel like it's not what I don't see that. Objectively, what I'm looking at, they're saying, Clark, you're amazing. And I look and think, wait a second, but Clark did X, Y, and Z, and X, Y, and Z are objectively like horrible things to do. Like, am I crazy? And I'm looking around and all the other characters are like, no, Clark's amazing. Clark's awesome. No, you're crazy. Clark's a wonderful guy. He's charming. And I'm like, I don't see that. And by the way, no shade on, this is no shade on Tom Welling. He did great. It's not the acting. He did a good job. It's not even exactly shade on the character because you can make excuses for the character. He's 15 or he's a kid or whatever. It's not even that like that. But like, objectively speaking, on paper, if I say, I don't give you the context of the show, I just say it's a guy who did this, this, and this. Do you think he's a jerk or charming? And everyone's going to say jerk. But then you put it in the context of the show and everyone goes, wow, he's amazing. He's so charming. He's such a great guy. I'm thinking, bullshit. No, he's not. And then I feel like the exact same thing was happening with Lex Luthor on the other side, where it's like even more so, more excessively on the other side with the Lex Luthor specifically, but the Luthors in general. It's just this like going on and on about how terrible he is, and everyone just speaks as though it's a foregone conclusion, season after season after season, and I'm looking and going, I'm confused. I'm genuinely confused, because what about this that he did that was awesome, and this that he did, he saved some people there, and he sacrificed himself there? What are you talking about? I'm not seeing this, And there's like people talking about how creepy he is, and now I'm listening to the Talkville podcast, and like I'm listening to you guys talk about how creepy he is, and I think like creepy, like I like the character of Lex Luthor because he's not creepy. Like, I don't understand where this is coming from. I will say up front, though, because if anybody watches or listens to what I'm saying here, I'm just going to warn you right up front. This may make some people angry, but I haven't finished the series because I got mad. I got mad, and I'm still butthurt over what happened in season 6, okay? So I got through part of season 6, and then I felt like the writers betrayed me. That's what I feel like. I feel like the writers betrayed me. Because it was like, we got through 5 years of content. I didn't take 5 years to watch it, but 5 years of content and into the 6th year. And then it felt like all of a sudden, like on a freaking dime, they're like, hey, just kidding. He's a psychopathic narcissist. He's evil. And I'm like, wow, okay. Like that came out of nowhere. That was not, that was not an arc. That was just like a perpendicular line, like a just straight 90-degree turn. And for people who are listening and then saying, okay, well, you can't just say, well, he wasn't a villain and then they made him a villain and now you're mad because he's a villain. It's like, no. That's not the problem I had, because see, I started watching the show expecting him to become a villain, and I was okay with that, okay? I'm mad because you spent 5 seasons not making him a villain, and then suddenly in season 6 made him a villain, and that doesn't make any sense. This is no longer the same character. You've completely changed the direction of this, and it was not a story arc. This is like not the same character arc. Like I said, this is a 90 degree turn, not an arc.
Singing zippy zee, zappy za, yappy yo.
What are you singing, Petey?
Just making it up as I went along, really.
That's just weak songwriting. You wrote a bad song, Petey.
But if you just completely change it then in the 6th season, I feel like, okay, so if it's completely changed in the 6th season, this isn't consistent with the first 5 years of content. 5 years of content. You can either tell me that, you know what, he was supposed to be a villain and the first 5 years of the show screwed up because we didn't write a villain arc, or you can tell me that he never really was supposed to be a villain and the 6th season screwed him over and the first 5 years were solid content, which, by the way, is what I would say. I think it was solid content, and I will explain what I think should have happened to the character and where I thought they were going with it, because that was what was consistent with the story arc they presented. I didn't make it up. They made it up. So anyways, what I'm going to be doing in these videos, until such time as I get bored with this and or something more important in my life comes up, this is how I'm spending my free time now. I'm rewatching Smallville again, like a month after I watched it the first time, and I'm going to make videos. And we're going to find out whether you guys are all being brainwashed into thinking that Lex Luthor is a psycho and a villain, or I'm going crazy and he is a psycho and a villain and I'm losing my mind.